Welcome to another edition of What the Fuck Happenings in the YouTube Atheist Community. Oh yeah, wait a minute, that doesn't happen. Anyway, yeah, it's another week on planet Earth. What the fuck, I did another week. Amazing. Keep surviving. So, yes. So, yeah, the less eventful, just because I've been doing this physics thing and writing. So I got into some of this tedious detail stuff, and, I don't hate where it's going. It's just kind of interesting, start off trying to explain something simple, like why does the Earth crash into the sun? Try to. And, there's just lots of reasons. I mean, there's very few reasons, but it just takes a long time to get to the ones that are, the ones that matter. The interesting ones, let's say. But anyway, so, yeah, whatever. Read at your discretion. So yeah, so I just still have a little bit more to do, because I really haven't gotten to the gravity part yet. I was just explaining the velocity part again, and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, yeah, sorry, physics. So, who knows where it's all going to go and what's all going to happen and blah, blah, blah. So I do have thoughts in my head about plans and things and this and that and whatever. So I just have to get to all this stuff a bit at a time. Once I get this writing thing done, then I can, have more time for other distractions and whatnot and do just, get to the part of getting peer reviewed. That's the plan here anyway. By somebody rational, who can make an argument. Reasonable argument. So, but it is a difficult business, but somebody really has to, you have to really, you have to boil it down to be able to find out, okay, well, this is why that doesn't work, and so somebody has to be able to put in enough time to understand what they're arguing against, I guess. But I really don't want to cut anybody's slack, because the whole world runs on bullshit, and nothing ever gets, arguments are never elevated, problems are never solved, because no one ever wants to do the work of really getting to what the root of it is. So, that sort of brings up Pierrot's idiotic room, full of people I just despise, which is, convenient, I guess, that they're all in one place. Yeah, there's no link up yet, but anyway, yeah, oh, that's right. I deleted Pierrot from my links. Yeah, that's right. It's not going to show up there anymore. Fucker. Useless sack of shit. Anyway. So, I don't need to find the video, really. It's not all that interesting. But anyway, so yeah, it's just, they've been just doing all this race talk and Arab talk and whatever you want to call that. This poor people talk. And skies are being in the room just ruins it altogether. And the Kontavad made an appearance. I didn't really hear him say much, but I didn't watch the whole thing or listen to the whole thing. It's just not that. It's a subject matter again where my brain already has an opinion. It's like you already develop an opinion on somebody's character, and it really doesn't matter whether you find out, oh, they, ran over a cat the other day racing to the store or something. You say, okay, I already know they have a generally good character and they're capable of doing something stupid. So who cares? And all this political controversies about who said this and who did that and who blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you already know the character of these people. The ones who were, just completely in it for what's in it for me, and the ones who have some hope of figuring out now and then that they have to do the right thing. And with politicians, you don't get much better. You don't get somebody who's really a giver damn about doing the right thing all the way. Well, anyway, so the Pierrot room was, Vic was in there, and it's so irritating because all these people are just so stupid that they make Vic seem smart, which is really irritating. Because but they don't ever get to the real point. The point is, you're not going to solve any of these problems. Pierrot just has this idea that, okay, you can just import a zillion poor people, or even the people we have now, and you can just keep giving them money, and somehow, if you make them rich, they'll behave differently. And they won't. I've seen them. I've seen poor people with money, and all they do is buy double fried bacon chips and, you know, fart pillows and shit. I mean, they don't become civilized. You know, that's something you gotta, you know, it's hard to do it, you know, after the fact. Civilizationing. You kind of have to do that, you know, as you're hatching the egg and growing it up. You know, that's sort of going to dictate whether it's going to be civilized or not. Certainly people can, you know, live an uncivilized life, come to a revelation that they're assholes and educate themselves and become decent. But I'm just saying that that's not the common case. The common case is that they're slop eaters. They'll just continue to be slop eaters. You know, once they get a taste for poo, you know, they're poo eaters. It's hard to break them of the habit. You know, without them doing it themselves by saying, "Oh shit, I'm humiliating the fuck out of myself, ain't I?" Ain't I? So anyway, you know, it's just well, whatever. You know, here's this conversation. Funny that the only two women that showed up. It's hard to get, you know, intelligent women. But anyway, you know, this fucking white trash slut. You know. I mean, it's just, you know, it's funny. Anyway, no offense to the white trash sluts. Well, no, I do mean offense. I mean, the whole problem is this white trash sluts and black trash sluts and just trash humans. There's human beings who just suck, and it's just, you know, these people who keep placating the suck and saying it's okay to suck. No, it's not okay to suck. We ought to say it's not okay to suck. It's not okay to have kids when you're 16. It's not okay to have kids when you're 18, for fuck's sake. It's just not. I mean, you gotta know what you're getting into, and you just have no fucking clue at that age. And, you know, and this is the kind of thing now, especially, there's a science to it. There's a science to building character. You know, there's little books written on it and shit. You know, and it just, you know, you gotta run your kid through a certain gauntlet of experiences. Where they discover the truth. That, you know, you're basically leading them through the water, but you're doing it in some tricky way. Where, yes, well, we'll have a little bit of a humiliating experience here, and, you know, we'll do it on your own here, and you know, we're here to help you to gain enough security. I mean, it's all this psychology shit, and, you know, and it's just, this is way out of these people's leagues. I mean, we got the dumbest people on the planet. Fact. The dumbest people on the planet are doing most of the child rearing. Right there, that's a fact. It's a fact that should scare the fuck out of anybody a little bit rational. Just, I mean, a little. All you have to do is a little bit rational, and you hear that fact. Oh, the dumbest people on the planet are raising most of the children. That's not good. And so that, to me, is the end of the conversation, right? Because the plan is, whatever the plan is first stop the dumb people, yeah, brain dead. But that's the first. Pause. First thing you do, hit the fucking pause button so we can deal with this. And so that's the first initiative. It has to be something that says, poor people, fuck you. I mean, really, you gotta grow a little bit of a brain here and figure out you're really not qualified for this job. Until you demonstrate yourself qualified in some way, besides saying God says I can, or nature says I can, then fuck you. Because, you know, we do live in a world, in the context, again, some asshole with a $10 an hour job is not going to be able to properly raise his kid on his own. So he's going to need all these social infrastructure and all these social resources, and so you're going to tax people out of their houses, you know, to provide for their you know, pet ownership, as I've put it. And that's just insidiously stupid. So anyway, so that's where the politics for this, all the politics on these subjects ends right there. It's not about race. It's not about any of this bullshit. It's not about what kind of people are stupid or what kind of this or who cares. No, it doesn't matter. We know what poverty is and we know what ignorance is. And those things shouldn't be raising kids. Period. Nothing should be, but I'm just saying it's a first step is figuring out that that's no good. And you're not going to solve the problem. You're not going to make people smart by giving them bigger welfare checks. That ain't going to happen. They're just going to make more babies out of it. It's like feeding starving people. It doesn't, it's like the worst thing you can do. They'll just turn the food into babies. Fact. So, I mean, it's a dilemma. And the solution to the dilemma isn't to just keep feeding the problem. The solution is you actually have to do something to figure out that somehow we have to change this dynamic and say this is not what we're going to do. But this whole idea that you're going to save America by drowning it in poor people is just the dumbest, stupidest, most retarded pile of shit. No, you're going to sink the boat. They're not going to make you better. Pirro said some kind of stupid thing like, oh yeah, well I concede that most of these urban youths, are scum, but it's the 1 in 10 is so valuable. It's like some religious thing, like the black sheep or something. Recovering the black sheep is so much more valuable than the sheep that've been doing the right thing their whole life. They get shit. Give everything to that shithead. But it means this whole idea that somehow it's worth it. And how is it worth it? How is it worth doing it? Having one kid and doing it right in the first place? How is it worth it? How is it worth the 10, useless lives that will have to be subsidized, either by the prison system or some other element of social infrastructure? The zero productivity. So you get 10 things that consume resources, and you get one thing that might produce them, and somehow you're going to claim it's worth it. It's not worth it. And how is that one in the urban community worth more than one in the non-urban community? It's not. So why should you be spending more on it? It's just illogical. 10 times more. I mean, really, we're starving the healthy. To feed the sick, and it's just stupid. There, I made a political video, which I really don't do. I mean, sort of political. But yeah, I just couldn't give a shit. I couldn't give a shit about all these subjects because the underlying subject is the subject. The subject never talked about is the subject. It's like democracy or the two-party system. All that. Yeah, you got to fix it. Nobody wants to change anything, so nothing's ever going to get fixed. They think the solution is, oh, well, we'll just fix that money thing, and so the rich people can't do anything. Yeah, like you're going to stop the rich guys from doing something, right? With your stupid technicalities. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that just scares the fuck out of them. Please. You can't stop free speech. And if people have money, they have more speech. Fact. They can write books, they can get them on the bestseller list, they can do all kinds of things, so you're not going to shut them up, silly fucks. But that's the kind of solutions they come up with, some kind of band-aid bullshit that ain't going to solve shit, because they won't do the fundamental thing, which is let's have an actual democracy where our votes actually count. Why don't we get rid of this stupid moronic electoral college crap, where you give the fucking pumpkin heads in fucking Alaska 30 times the voting power as a person in California in the U.S. Senate. I mean, it's just the stupidest. The democracy sucks. I've never had a congressman my whole fucking life. I've never had a representative in the Congress my whole life. Not one. Not that I like the stupid, crappy choices, but yes, the one I voted against has always been my representative. I think there's something wrong with a democracy when you're representing people by people they despise. It sounds like that's a fundamental, catastrophic flaw. That's like not even coming close to one man, one vote kind of thing. It's just so far off from the target that we should just concede. No, that's too broken. You mean you spent your whole life being represented by essentially somebody you consider to be no better than Adolf fucking Hitler? Your whole life? I guess that's not much of a democracy. I guess your vote really doesn't mean shit. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just saying, there's representation's got to mean something. It means that you actually have a representative. Everybody should be guaranteed a representative. We shouldn't have this winner-take-all two-party bullshit, where even if you win, you lose because your fucking choice of candidates is sell out and I'm gonna eat your brains. You know, I'm gonna implant fucking electrodes in your head. So you got those are your two choices: a sellout, you know, on almost every subject issue. And then somebody's out to kill you, pretty much. You know, that's the Republicans, by the way. That's another one of those things. Just thinking, you know, all this stuff about, you know, there's nothing Donald Trump could do. Not a single thing. Not a single. There's no way I could ever believe the man has this much character. I mean, any character at all. So it really doesn't matter what people. Ooh, we found out Hillary did this, or we found out this guy did that. It doesn't matter because Trump's always going to smell worse. There's nothing almost any. Somebody could say they were. Oh yeah, well he had a period where he was axe murdering for a while. I'd still say that's a more viable character person than Trump. Well, as long as they apologized. He has no character. He is an insidious, monstrous, sick psychology. A depraved, monstrous pile of crap. And it just amazes me that people can't even figure. Oh, yeah, well, Donald knows what my life is like. Yeah, sure he does. Donald has respect for work. That's why he exploits all those workers to make all that billions of dollars. It's why he's stealing all the value they produce. It's because he values the workers. Oh, well. Sort of, maybe. He grew the money on a tree. No, there's no law against growing money on a tree. People suck. So anyway, it is all quite just horribly depressing. But then there's Mike. Yeah, Mike made a video. I haven't watched it yet, which is really, really bad of me. Moving forward. Oh, I don't know like that. I don't know. Stay where you are. Don't move. Moving's dangerous. Forward. I don't know about that one. So anyway, Morbid Atheist made a video about the Zika virus. I mean, you feel bad, but yeah, you say anything that deters pregnancy, super. But yeah, you really don't, you really don't want people having a bunch of kids with no brain. I mean, that's, well, maybe that's better, right? I mean, yeah, I've said it before. I mean, we're probably better off retarded because knowing what we're caught up in is just so depressing. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So I'm just whatever, just mushing through, get through this period here for a month or so, and be a bit multitasky and distracted, but I'll get back to the old routine soon enough. Well, no, I'm not going to do the old routine, actually. I'm going to try to actually do something like Old Fan. She sat there and gave herself a little mission, made a movie and everything. I'm going to do something like that. Yeah. I'm going to do something new and different. Or not. Yeah, I'll just see. You do have to get yourself worked up for it. Well, it's like a lot of life, it's like the whole sex thing, you get all that passion for, 5 minutes, and you're like, what the fuck was that all about? And 10 minutes later, you're ready to go jump back in, and you're just like, what, I'm falling for this again? Oh, man. I mean, life is just like that. It's hungry, thirsty, horny. I guess there's some curiosity or something else. There's a little bit of a passion inside of me for some sort of solving. That's I mean, I want to fix something. I want it fixed. I like things to be fixed. I don't like broken things. I mean, I don't mind broken things in the sense that it can be damaged and it barely works. Barely worked is okay with me, because that's how everything here is. Everything just barely, computer barely, everything just barely works. So that's good enough for me. Barely works is okay. I just don't like the not good enough. Yeah. I mean, it seems kind of obvious. Well, I don't like not good enough. Yeah, well, it's pretty obvious. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, I do want to make a physics video, but I want to finish the writing first, I suppose. Well, part of it, or maybe not. Well, we'll see how it goes. See what I can stand. So thank you, people and such who've yeah, yeah, well, you don't know who you are. Yeah, that's it. I'll just do thank you to those of you who know who you are. Yeah, I don't think there's anything much interesting on the old comment section here, so I don't know if there's much to comment on. Shampoo advice. It's kind of funny. Hey, she changed it. No, okay, that's a different comment. So look at it. Well, aren't you just the goddamn Renaissance man? Well, that's how it turns out, little, can't even put a straight image on the YouTubes, guy. I mean, with you assholes as competition, I guess the argument would be, yeah, it's pretty easy to be a Renaissance man compared to you fucking finger painting, drooling, flat-brained fuck faces. Yeah, it's pretty easy to, outskill you. Yeah. So anyway, maybe in a kind of bad, blah 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 sense, what I'd like to do is play the piano without learning, blah, who cares? I'm on the Second Amendment, who cares? The main difference between us and the Nazis, who cares? Yeah, who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, so it's all been kind of boring. Anyway, I like you, a little sunny. Milky Lurks. I don't know. Maybe it's a chick. Milky. Yeah, that'd be a good name for a girl, right? Milky. Anyway. Yeah, so I think I'm done now. I'm just semi-psychotically wandering through my own brain mush. Anyway, alright, yeah, sounds good enough. So till next time and such, and hopefully I'll be more, or more something else, or something. Maybe something. I don't know, hope whatever you like. Hope to just be able to get through it, right? That's what just keep, and get through another week. It's all quite scary, because you're just like saying, wow, I've had an awful long, I've done an awful lot of number of weeks. I guess I'm really due for some sort of, squishing, whatever the fate is, some sort of horror. So, it's quite stifling. To contemplate the jeopardy. You're just sitting in this little puddle of jeopardy. I'm sitting in jeopardy. Yeah, that's what those, Zeta virus people should do. It's just something where half a brain does that. But yet I'm sitting in jeopardy. I have a mission. Yeah, I have a job to do, so I have to sit in jeopardy to get the job done. So anyway, till next time and such, and so forth and whatnot. And, yeah. I really don't think there's much else.